Hey guys, I'm Ms. Chance Cook. I work over in the district office in technology, but right now I'm going to play student in a Google Meet. So my friend Mr. Bagwell down below me is the teacher. And so the access that I have, all the buttons that I have right now are just what you would have on your screen. Okay, I'm going to hide these tools so you can see what I've got. If I look down here toward the bottom of my screen, I have a lot of different buttons that give me lots of different options. The first one is my microphone here. So if I click it, that makes it so you can't hear me. But since I had it muted, you couldn't hear me say. That makes it so you can't hear me. So I needed to click it again to get my voice back on. So this is going to turn my microphone on and off. This next one is to hang up the Meet call. So I don't want to click that unless I actually want to leave. Moving a little bit further to the right, here's the button I would use to turn my camera off. And I'm going to use that same button to turn my camera back on. Keeping moving to the right, I have my raise hand button. So if the teacher asks for a show of hands, you can click your raised hand button, or you could also raise your hand like you might in class if you have a question. And then if your teacher isn't quite ready to address your question yet, this is a cue to your teacher that you have something that you want their attention for. And so they can wait until there's a good point to stop and call on you. If you get the answer to your question before your teacher calls on you, you can come back down and click lower your hand too. So now your hand doesn't need to be up anymore. So just like you would in class, you can raise and lower your hand. I have an option here with these two C's to turn on captions. So if I'm having a hard time understanding what somebody's saying, I can push that. And in just a second, you'll see my words start to show up at the bottom of the screen. It's not always perfect, but it's usually pretty close, which is nice. Okay. And then I push that same button to turn it off. The last thing here across the bottom, if your teacher is allowing students to share the screen, this present now is where you would click to share your screen with your teacher or the rest of the class. Okay, so that's the tools across the bottom. Up here at the top right, you have some other tools that you can check out. This one with the people is just a list of the different people in your Meet. And I think if you click on those people, it'll show you their picture. If I click on that speech bubble, this is where the chat is if my teacher has it enabled. So I can type a question in here. And that would go to my teacher and the other people in the class. And so we can talk back and forth about what's going on with our assignments or with the Meet. But we do want to keep on task with that and not just use it for chatter. But lots of great options there to use the chat. And then your teacher also has some options to split you into small groups. They can ask you to answer a poll. So it would be letting you vote on something. And there's also a question and answer thing over here with these two hands being held up. So if you wanted to ask a question of your teacher, you can type your question in here. And if there are other people that share your questions, they can mark that and say, yeah, I have that question too. So that's also something that could be really helpful for you and for your teachers there within Google Meet. So again, questions and answers, polls, chat, those are all up here at the top right. And pretty much everything else you need down here at the bottom. So your microphone, your camera, your hand raise, your captions, and the screen share if that's turned on. There are some other useful options for settings down here, but the ones we went through are the biggies. So thanks. I hope this helps. Have a great day.